Yeah, that's just not our business model. Those are magical words for a business owner or an entrepreneur. When you've started something, you're selling a product or you're delivering a service, when you've reached the point where you can sit across the table from somebody that you're trying to close a deal with and they're haggling on price or they're trying to negotiate on price, whatever. When you're able to say, sorry, that's just not our business model, you know that you have finally reached a point to where your business is sustainable and you're able to walk away from clients or from prospects. It's a wonderful feeling to get to that point. You know, if you raise a bunch of cash in the beginning and you have, cash to work off of, some operating capital, maybe you can say those things right away. But if you're bootstrapping a business and cash is super tight and you're trying to generate some revenue and you need to generate revenue before the business dies, you do certain things in the beginning to keep it going, even if you shouldn't. And we could do a whole nother episode on whether you shouldn't or should or shouldn't negotiate on price. But when you're an early stage company and bootstrap, uh, zone, you do what you have to do to stay alive. We did that at Riderflex. I mean, as a recruiting firm, we did stuff for free. We did stuff on discount. We made all kinds of deals to stay alive early on the first year and a half. Now, after 6 years, though, with 30 employees and contractors and growing like crazy, we are and doing millions of dollars a year now. We are at a point where, we're able to say, hey, here's our model. Here's the service we provide. Here's our track record. Here's our results. Here's our reviews. This is what we can do for you. We'd love to service you. Here's our fee. If that doesn't fit your budget, I totally understand. Just means you're not the client for us. That doesn't fit our business model. We're able to do that now. It's a huge blessing once you get there. I recommend that you get there as quickly as possible as an entrepreneur. You really need to set your model up to reach certain margins that you have to produce to be sustainable, and stick to it and walk away from people that don't want to pay you what you're worth or don't want to pay you what the product is worth. Isn't it interesting, by the way, especially if you're in the service business and you're providing a service to a company that produces a product? Isn't it interesting that those CEOs, they always want to haggle with you on price? Like somehow your service is negotiable, but their product isn't. That really gets on my nerves. I always say, well, okay, you're negotiating with me on the service I'm providing, but when consumers order your t-shirt off your website, the price is the price, isn't it? They can't negotiate, can they? You've established a price for your shirt because you know it costs a certain amount of money to produce the shirt, and you need to make a certain margin, right? Well, I hate to tell you this, product CEO, but it's the same way for a service business. We have expenses and marketing and employees, and we're trying to make a certain margin, just like you are. So stop haggling on the prices for service businesses. That's not cool, especially if it's a fair price to begin with. So anyway, sorry, I went down a rabbit hole. What's my point? Oh, my point is for you, Mr. and Mrs. Entrepreneur, find out what your value is, decide what price you need to be profitable and sustainable as a business, to support your team and to support you. Pitch it to prospects. And if they don't want it, move on to the next client. Last thing I'll say on this. I had this guy once that trained me how to sell door-to-door cable. I was, let's see, how old was I? I think I was 19 and a half, 20 years old. And I was selling door-to-door cable for a while. I had this old guy. Now, I'll be 55 this summer. So this guy was probably 55 and I thought he was super old at the time. Anyway, he was training me and he's like, listen, kid, he's like, here's the deal. He's like, you knock on the door, you ask them if they want cable, you tell them what the price is. If they don't want it, move to the next house quickly. Just move to the next house. Don't sit there and try to talk them into it. Don't sit there and try to negotiate with them and convince them, and haggle with them about price. Hello, Mrs. Jones. Do you need cable today? No? Okay, cool. Have a nice day. Next house. By the way, he was the most successful sales guy on the team because he just stick and move. Present what he had to offer. If the customer said no, go to the next prospect. Right. So anyway, there is your Riderflex tip of the day.